What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I've won by K Explorer, and yep, this is an interracial married couple living in South Korea, and they have two kids. And yeah, we're gonna just kind of hear what their story's about, and yep, a Korean man and a Black American woman from the States. So let's get into this, and here we go.
싶다. 처음에는 우리 부모님은 좀 serious 생각 안 했어요. Just friend or 가벼운 relationship.
Can you briefly tell me, like how you guys met?
I got set up on a blind date by a stranger. Yep.
Oh, what's it like, just raising kids in Korea?
He has what they call yuga hyujik, and he gets to have 3 years per child. So he's been stay-at-home dad.
Can you guys briefly introduce yourself?
Yep. My name is Diana.
저는 김규형입니다.
You guys are a beautiful family. Your kids are amazing. Can you briefly tell me, like how you guys met and how long have you guys been married for?
Oh gosh, I'll tell the story. It's kind of an interesting story, but basically when I first came to Korea, I came for the second time in 2018, and I was at a bar near my house actually. I was ordering a drink and there was an older guy at the bar. He was like in his 60s, but for some reason he spoke fluent English. And he asked me how old I was, and he asked me if I was interested in somebody that he knew. So I got set up on a blind date by a stranger. Yep.
Oh.
That's basically how it happened. Yeah. So his name was Mr. Lee, and he ended up being his supervisor from the past. Yeah. And so I just got set up that way.
Did Mr. Lee, like show you his photo beforehand?
Yeah, he showed me his picture. He told me he was a firefighter, which I was into. I was like, that's cool. And he's good looking. And so, yeah, he set us up on a blind date. We all hung out together for the first time. So it was Mr. Lee, Ji-hyung, and I, and it was interesting. My Korean wasn't that good at the time, but it's improved a lot just from being with him. So
like, did he speak like any English like when you guys met?
He knows a lot of English. I mean, Koreans know a lot of English. They study so hard in school. So he couldn't really speak it too well, but if I said something in English, he would know what it meant. So yeah, we kind of just worked with Konglish. In the beginning, Papago was our best friend. Papago's a translating app. If I didn't have my phone, I felt like I was going to die because I was like, I can't talk to him. It was like really awkward. Yeah. And I thought maybe, we would just like hang out and he could show me around Korea, but I didn't really expect it to be like super long-term, I guess. Yeah. And then here we are.
혹시 그 첫인상 어때요? 어떻나요?
첫인상은 너무 아름다웠어요. 진짜 좀 깜짝 놀랐어요. 지금도 좀 이쁘긴 한데 처음에는 진짜 그냥 너무 설명 못해요. 너무 이뻤어요.
그럼 언제 어떤 순간은 이 사람이 결혼하고 싶다.
우선 대화가 너무 좋았고 그다음에 항상 저를 편하게 만들어줬어요.
Okay, you heard it. The Korean man said she made it comfortable, and just on a side note, it's kind of strange because most, older 60-year-old Korean guys, let's call it what it is, ain't gonna approach, especially, a Black American girl that he's usually not. But something about her probably got, the 60-year-old say, hey, I think, I can introduce you to a guy because the thing about this woman here is, he probably got the vibe. The 60-year-old got the vibe like she's, at the time, fit, feminine. She was friendly. So, I could see why. And another thing is she is not all, crazy and loud like the modern women back in the United States. So I can see why the Korean guy said, hey, I will introduce you to a guy, a firefighter. So, that's just one of the things that's not a story we often hear in Korea. But let's continue.
I can trust her 100%. 그래서 결혼 생각했어요.
아내분 만나기 전에 혹시 외국인
처음 그냥 외국인 한국말 안 하는 사람은 처음 봤어요. 외국 사람 찾은 적 없고 정말 우연히 만났어요. 진짜 상상 못했어요. 외국인 만나는 거는.
외국인이다 보니까
문제집을 한번 마음껏 사보는 게 소원이에요.
그럼 가족들한테 얘기하고 나서 반응이 어떻나요? 외국인이랑 결혼하고 싶다.
처음에는 우리 부모님은 좀 serious 생각 안 했어요. serious think 안 했어요. 그냥 just friend or 가벼운 relationship. 근데 나중에 결혼을 말했을 때 좀 깜짝 놀랐어요. 우리 엄마
Yeah.
아빠는. 근데 다 괜찮았어요. 엄마
Yeah.
아빠가 우리 와이프 너무 좋아해서 큰 프로블럼 없었어요.
His mom is amazing. 엄마 사랑해요. Yeah, she loves me and she takes such good care of me and the babies, and she always tells me how happy she is that I'm with her son. So yeah, she makes us food all the time and takes care of the babies for us. So we have a really good relationship.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
And how are you able to like communicate with your husband's mother?
We speak Korean. Yeah. 한국말 할 수 있어요. 그래도 그 아빠랑 말하면 조금 힘들어요.
왜요?
아빠는 경상도 분이니까 사투리 있어요. 네. 그래서 아빠 말하면 진짜 이해하는 건 너무 힘들어요.
Okay, she mentioned satori, because that's usually mostly in southern South Korea, like Busan, Ulsan, and yeah, so sometimes it's hard for for us to understand certain Koreans because they're just like 안녕하세요 or 안녕하세요. It's kind of like a different dialect, Like I always forget when even if my family's from Busan, because I would go down there and I'm like, oh, I forgot I'm in Busan. I'm hearing all these weird, it's not really weird, but it's just, for me, I'm like, huh? What the heck are you saying? So yeah.
근데 엄마는 평택 사람이니까 좀
Okay. Yeah.
편하게 말할 수 있어요.
그럼 한국말을 어떻게 배우게 되셨나요?
한국 오기 전에 배웠어요. 네, 한국 오기 전에 배웠는데 그렇게 잘 못했어요. 근데 남편 만날 때 우리 거의 한국말만 했어요.
아주 이쁜 딸님 2명 돼 있어가지고 혹시 그럼 어떻게 소통을 하나요?
저는 한국말하고 와이프는 영어 해서
Yeah, bilingual. Yeah, that's our goal, is for them to be bilingual. And Seoul, I mean, she speaks both languages. She goes to a Korean daycare, so there she speaks Korean. With him, she speaks Korean, but I speak only English to her. Sometimes Korean comes out just because it's like natural for my husband and I to speak Korean together. Yeah, she's really like learning and picking up both languages really well.
How long did you guys date for, and how long have you guys been married for?
We dated. Well, we met in 2018. So we've been together about 5 years. And then after about 2 years, we got married.
How did you know, like, okay, I want to get married to this man?
I just kind of seemed like I just felt like I could trust him. He's very protective. Like people kind of joke when we're walking together, he's like my bodyguard. Like he really takes care of me and like makes sure I'm safe. And he thinks about me like all the time. Like he thinks about me before anything else. I could just tell. I mean, like he cared about me a lot, and that's more than I felt with anybody else in my life. So I was just like, oh, he's the one. He's a protector, and he's gonna be a good husband and a good dad. So
Are there any struggles of like being in an interracial marriage in Korea?
일단은 커뮤니케이션 아무리 한국말 잘해도 sometimes misunderstanding 있어요. 그래서 그것 때문에 작은 파이트하고 그런 것.
I mean, in any relationship, communication is hard, but with adding the bilingual layer to it, it's like even harder.
여기 한국이니까 한국 사람이 다 해야 돼요. Paperwork, health insurance, or daycare, vaccine, our baby's vaccine, or like that.
At the health checks, like, I can understand Korean to an extent, but when the doctor starts talking really fast, I'm just like,
Yep, I'm the same way, because, of course, I lived in the States. So, like, if I'm even trying to, like, listen to a doctor, I'm like, huh? Mo? What? Yo, I need this in 영어 나 필요해, 영어. I mean, I need it in English, So, yeah, so I'm like her, because we both grew up in the States, Even if I've heard Korean all my life, I don't speak it at the native level, I'm just like, huh? Come again? Huh? So yeah.
I just kind of like tune out, and he has to be the one to focus on everything. So
yeah.
For him, I think he gets more stress and it's harder for him. And I remember before we started the relationship, I was like, are you sure? Are you sure about this? Because you're going to have to do everything. Like you have to handle all the Korean stuff. I mean, I'm going to try my best to learn the language. And I'm still getting there. I can do a lot of things by myself. But I was just like, "Are you sure about this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem. I could do it." And now I think he sees the frustration more that it's like really happening. Yeah.
How was your wedding like?
우리 웨딩은 못했어요.
Yeah.
코로나 때문에 계속 그 포스트폰 하다가 finally just cancel.
Like, do you guys have plans on like doing a ceremony like later on?
I don't know. I don't really think so. At this point, we already have 2 kids. I feel like it would be it's just too late, I feel. But we did have, before Corona, we had an engagement party in the States.
What's it like, just raising kids in Korea?
I mean, there's a lot of benefits. Like it's awesome. Yeah. Well, first of all, childcare is free in Korea, almost free. For some reason where we live, we have to pay a little fee, but it's still like very cheap compared to in the US. When we go out in public, that's interesting because people always stare at us. I mean, when we were just a couple, we got a lot of stares. But now it's like people look at him and they look at me and then they automatically look at the stroller like, "Oh, what do those babies look like?" and it's always like a "Wow, oh, 예뻐, oh, 귀여워," like that. It's like everybody's like wants to look at our babies, which is like it's nice, People have interest in us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a little bit too much. Yeah, it's. I wonder how that will affect them growing up. Like, of course, it's nice to get compliments and things like that, but I do wonder how that's going to affect them in the future. And then sometimes we do get some looks that look kind of like dirty, like a what's going on here type of look, but for the most part, it's positive.
한국에서 계속 아이들이 키울 생각이신가요?
네, 일단은 한국에서 계속 애기들 키울 생각이에요. 근데 나중에는 이제 둘 다 듀얼 시리즌십. 그래서 나중에 이제 우리 소리랑 루나가 선택하겠지만 그때까지는 한국에서 이제.
Okay, so yeah, these ladies have to decide. Luckily, they didn't have a son because he has to. I think because the son can choose between America and Korea, and if I'm the son, I would pick America, not just because I'm American. Because why? You have to do 2 years or like 18 months of military duty. So yeah, these 2 girls have to decide if they're going to be American or Korean. I don't think it's going to matter for them as much, because both passports are pretty strong. So let's see.
살 거예요.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about perks of living in Korea with babies. He has what they call yuga hyujik. It's like a paternity leave, I guess you would call it. And he gets to have 3 years per child.
Ooh.
Yeah. So because of his job, he's able to take that time off. So actually he's been at home. It will be 3 years total by the time that he's done with it next year. Yeah. So he's been stay-at-home dad, like amazing. And I've been working full time. Yeah. So I only get 3 months of maternity leave where he can take all this time. So we just made the decision that he would stay at home with the children. So he raised her at home until she went to daycare. So she's going to daycare now, but he still gets her ready for school and then takes care of Luna during the day. And it's really amazing.
What are the name of your kids? Like, of course, if you guys are open to sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our oldest one is Sol and our youngest one is Luna. So it's sun and moon in Spanish.
Yeah.
But also we just wanted to choose names that you could, easily write in Korean and it translates well in both languages. And we have our sun and our moon. So it matches their personalities too. Because Sol, our older one, and she's very fiery personality. Yeah.
It looks very.
Oh, you don't even know. Oh yeah, she's wild. Yeah, she loves to climb on things and she screams and yells, but she's also really warm. Like she loves to cuddle and things like that. Luna is like very calm. I mean, right now you can't. It looks like she's wild, but she is very calm compared to Sol, I would say.
Okay.
She sleeps well and she does not like to be cuddled and held. She doesn't like to be held down.
Do you guys plan on living in Korea for the longest period of time?
네, 한국에서 계속 살 것 같아요. 저희는 제가
Yeah.
미국에 가면 제가 할 수 있는 일이 없을 것 같고, 그리고 와이프도 여기서 이제 거의 퍼머넌트 잡 있으니까 우리는 여기서 계속 살 수 있는 것 같아요.
Okay, so yeah, that's the video. Shout out to K Explorer. But yeah, interracial couple. Yeah, it's not common. Let's call it what it is. Because I see like, so many like videos like, okay, if there's like a black woman, Korean man, like that's the norm. And it's like, no, it's not the norm. No, I rarely see these kind of couples around Korea. Even when I go up to Seoul, you know, it's very few. So even if there is, a lot of starting to become more international marriages, because I'm sorry, you know, these Korean guys ain't gonna get a lot of Korean women. So hey, let's go for some, women that's gonna respect us, a foreign woman. So it is what it is. But yeah, this two made it work, and yeah, they're making their life. It's not easy, but hey, shout out to them. All right, if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special, help the king out, hit the like, subscribe, and comment, and wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.